Before we get into this, make sure you subscribe to the channel and leave a comment telling me what you're growing right now, because this is one of those methods that quietly separates gardeners who struggle every season from those whose beds get better every single year. This is not theory. This is a proven full shortcut that saves money, builds real soil, and makes raised beds work the way they were always meant to. Compost has its place, but using it to fill raised beds year after year is one of the most expensive habits gardeners fall into. Compost is not soil. It breaks down fast, shrinks dramatically, and needs constant replacement. When you dump 6 to 12 inches of compost into a raised bed every season, you are feeding microbes for a short burst while starving the soil structure underneath. By spring, that bed sinks, dries out faster, and needs even more compost to function. This cycle benefits compost sellers far more than it benefits your garden. Healthy soil needs carbon, structure, air pockets, fungal networks, and slow decomposition. Compost is only one ingredient in that process, not the foundation. Fall is really when nature builds soil for free, and raised beds should be treated no differently than the forest floor. The real shortcut, honestly, is simple. Stop thinking about filling raised beds and instead start thinking about feeding them from the top down. In fall, your job is not to create finished soil. Your job is to stack raw organic matter that will break down slowly over winter and spring. Start with whatever is already in your bed. Do not remove old roots unless they are diseased. Just cut plants at soil level and leave the roots in place. Those roots rot underground and, they become food highways for worms and microbes. On top of that soil, add a thick layer of carbon-rich material. Dry leaves are ideal. Shredded leaves work faster, but whole leaves still work. Aim for a layer at least 8 to 12 inches thick. Yes, it looks excessive, but by spring it will be half that or less. If leaves are scarce, straw works well. Avoid hay unless you enjoy weed seeds. Wood chips can be used, but only on the surface, never mixed into the soil. This layer is not about nutrients. It's really about structure, moisture retention, and, encouraging fungal growth. Carbon alone decomposes slowly, so pairing it with nitrogen speeds the process. Now, this does not mean dumping fertilizer. It means adding green material in reasonable amounts. Kitchen scraps, garden trimmings, spent annuals, and even pulled weeds without seed heads all count, Spread green material thinly, about 1 part green to 3 parts brown by volume. If you add too much green at once, you get smell and matting. If you add too little, breakdown still happens, just slower. A practical example is this. For every wheelbarrow of dry leaves, add a 5-gallon bucket of fresh garden waste or vegetable scraps, then cover it with more leaves. Repeat until the bed is full. Water it lightly so everything is damp but not soggy. That moisture activates microbes immediately. Earthworms thrive in layered organic matter. They pull leaves down, mix carbon with soil, and leave behind castings exactly where plant roots need them. When you keep beds covered through fall and winter, worm populations explode. By spring, those beds feel spongy, dark, and alive without a single shovel of compost added. This works especially well in raised beds because they drain well and, they warm faster in spring. Instead of dumping compost to wake up soil, you already have active biology just waiting under the surface. Compost still has value, just not as filler. In spring, simply pull back whatever remains of the top mulch and add, say, 1 to 2 inches of finished compost directly on the soil surface. That thin layer is enough to inoculate microbes, feed seedlings, and balance nutrients. Then pull the mulch back around plants, leaving the compost exposed only where you're planting. Compare that to adding 6 inches of compost every year. The savings add up fast, especially across multiple beds. The biggest advantage of this full shortcut is honestly compounding returns. Each year, organic matter increases, soil aggregates form, fungal networks strengthen, and, well, water retention improves. Beds stop drying out as fast, fertilizer needs drop, weeds become easier to manage because, the soil surface stays protected. Gardeners who use this system notice something important after 2 or 3 seasons. They stop fighting their soil. It starts working with them. One of the most common mistakes, really, is mixing raw organic matter directly into the soil. You see, doing so ties up nitrogen and, well, it disrupts the delicate balance of soil life. So it's best to keep everything layered nicely on top, ensuring a healthy and thriving garden ecosystem. Another mistake is leaving beds bare over winter. Bare soil, loses carbon fast and collapses structure. Even a thin mulch layer is better than nothing. Some gardeners worry about pests, but in reality, healthy soil with predators, fungi, and balanced moisture has fewer pest issues than those sterile, compost-heavy beds that dry out and crack. This method, well, it actually mirrors how soil has been built for thousands of years. Leaves fall, plants die back, organic matter piles up, and then life breaks it down slowly. Raised beds are not exempt from these rules. When you stop forcing compost into them and let natural processes work, your garden becomes cheaper, easier, and honestly more productive. If this helped you rethink how you manage raised beds, subscribe to Evergreen Garden, share this with another gardener who's tired of buying compost every season, and leave a comment letting me know what materials you have available this fall. This channel is about building gardens that improve year after year, not resetting them over and over again.